jeans on. I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on. It's the weekend, and I know that you're free. So pull on your jeans and come on out with me. I need to have you near me. I need to feel you close to me. I need to have you near me. I need to feel you close to me. You and me will go motorbike riding in the sun and the wind and the rain. I got money in my pocket, got a tiger in my tank, and I'm king of the road again. I meet ya in the usual place. I don't need a thing except your pretty face. And I need to have you near me. I need to feel you close to me. I need to have you near me. I need to feel you close to me. I need to have you near me. I need to feel you close to me. You and me will go motorbike riding in the sun and the wind and the rain. I got money in my pocket, a tiger in my tank, and I'm king of the road again. When I wake up in the morning light, I pull on my jeans and I feel alright. I pull my blue jeans on.
Anytime you can get in the great out of doors with family and friends and make a good memory, you have invested your time wisely. It will be a cherished memory that you'll carry with you forever. I always recommend taking a camera and taking lots of pictures. You can see we've done that in the Nutnfancy family, but I kind of wish we'd taken even more because it's a great way to relive those fun times. And time passes so quickly. I mean, before you know it, those days are gone and all you're left with is those memories. I show them those pictures and those experiences for a couple reasons. One, it's fun to relive them and to show where I come from as a gear reviewer, and that kind of gets into the second and most important reason is those experiences kind of color the way I look at gear, and they are very much responsible for my outlook on my systems, because on every time we go out in the great out of doors or in a tactical scenario, we will learn things. And I will say this more and more as I continue my adventures in the Nutnfancy project. You'll see me drive this point home in several different ways. Is you're going to learn something about your system or systems every time you get out there. And that's what I'm going to talk about here. And this is the Level 2 First Aid Kit system by Nutnfancy. A lot of guys have been waiting for this. Sorry it's taken me a while. It is a big project to put this together. There's a lot of things to say, and there's a lot of philosophy that's included. Again, drawing upon my own experiences growing up just a few years back and still going on in the Nutnfancy project. I continue to modify my systems to adapt to new technologies or better ways of doing things. And we'll talk about a couple of those as we go through the specifics of the Level 2 First Aid Kit. Now, I recommend that if you have not seen my two previous videos on this topic, that is first aid, that you watch those first. One would be a story of first aid. You'll see that in annotation. Secondly is my Level 1 First Aid Kit review, and I'll talk a little bit of POU or philosophy of use in that as well. I do make reference, I think, in those two videos and throughout some others of what I call a brigade level first aid kit. And basically that's tongue-in-cheek. It's not literally brigade level. But what I'm referring to is a first aid kit that has more capabilities than a Level 1 kit. What you're looking at here is a variety of Level 2 kit by Nutnfancy. And actually I have three of them here on the table. Disconnecting from the mothership, and I'll just kind of freehand it for a second. The one you've been looking at, sorry that's all you're looking at, but I think it's better to look at that than me. Excuse me. This is my emergency kit, first aid kit. So if I have to bug out, This is included in that survival kit. It is a standalone first aid kit. However, it is integrated within a survival kit. I might tell you more about that system in the times to come. I really hate doing that because if I mention anything, then I get lots of pressure to produce it, and it's kind of stressful because I've got so many projects in the fire. But this is the first aid kit extracted from that survival kit. I'll talk to its capabilities here in a bit. Now here's a home level 2 first aid kit. This is the one that we keep in the house, and it's ready to extract, run out in the street with, and handle home style first aid kit emergencies. And this is my generally referred to brigade level 2 first aid kit. Generally the best one that I have. This is the one that gets thrown in the truck that goes with me on expeditions involving a lot of people. It weighs about 4.5 pounds, a little bit more, 4 3/4 pounds. And it has a lot of capabilities for its philosophy of use. And there is a lot of philosophy to talk about when it comes to first aid kits. And let me talk to that right now. I'm going to click back into the tripod and pause it, and I'll join the clips. Before we break into the specifics of the kit and I show you what they are, let me cover what I refer to as foundational philosophy on the first aid kit issue. And this is according to me, Nutnfancy, and according to my own experiences, which you've seen and will continue to see in the Nutnfancy project. First off, my designations are just that. They're my designations. It's my own nomenclature and way of referring to first aid kits. I don't mean them to be analogous to other level 1s or level 2s within the medical community. I didn't even know that existed. My son, the EMT, Tactical Doodle, informed me. He's like, hey dude, you know there's like level 1, level 2 kits? And I was like, no, I had no idea. But apparently there are some ready-made kits that are referred to as that. I didn't even know. So when I refer to a level 1 kit, I'm talking about this, the highly portable and transportable version of a medical kit that you can take with you day hiking, backpacking, on a tactical shoot, in your luggage when you travel. It's light, it doesn't take up a lot of space. Now, the downside would be maybe it doesn't have quite the capabilities of a bigger first aid kit. You might not be able to handle everything with it. Previously reviewed, this is my level 1 first aid kit. You can check it out there in annotation. And in the background are writing, again, those variances of my level 2 kits. And we'll get into the specifics of those as we go. So when I talk about a level, I'm talking about size, application, and weight. Level 1, level 2. When I go to a level 2, then I'm saying my system is such that I can take a 5-pound first aid kit. And now if I can't take it, someone in my group can take it and carry it with them, and we'll have more capabilities for the brigade, so to speak, for the group that we're with. And that's why I call it a brigade level or level 2 first aid kit. It's bigger, it's heavier, but it has deeper capabilities too. When I mean deep, I'm talking depth. I might only have, let's say, 2 or 3 heavy-duty blood sponges in my level 1. In my level 2, as you'll see, I got more than that. And I have more blood capability, or I should say bleeding capability in a level 2. So different philosophies understand that as we go along, we're talking 2 different capabilities. The reason that's important is because some guys will confuse it. They're going to say, and they did say in comments, hey, first in your level 1, why didn't you include that? Why didn't you include that? Well, because it's size and weight constrained. And I can't include everything in a level 1. And you know what? I can't include everything in a level 2 either. This is still size and weight constrained for Nutnfancy. In other words, I need it to be about the size you're looking at. I definitely think 5 pounds is pushing it. If I can make this one 4 pounds, and I can with the deletion of some things, I'll show you when we get inside, I would do it. And beyond this, I will call a level 3 kit, and that's kind of a paramedic level first aid kit. And I would say that that would require medical training, because a level 3 kit will have a lot of additional capabilities above and beyond even a level 2 to handle more dire medical emergencies, like EpiPens and other things like that, which I don't feel comfortable using, and nor should you unless you're trained in those. And that gets into my background. I have gone out in the woods a lot. I have seen a lot of medical emergencies while I've been out in the woods, and pretty much every single time I have been the one to handle those medical emergencies. No one else came equipped. No one else had any first aid supplies, at least to the level, as you can see, I carry. And so I handled it, and I've done that many, many times. Now, that being said, I am not a doctor, nor am I an EMT or a paramedic. So take that for what it's worth. I mean, these are my own experiences, and some guys will say, well, you know, I don't know if I agree with that inclusion in your first aid kit. I think you'd be better off that. Please don't waste your time. If you feel strongly about it, then you would already have a first aid kit video out prior to the release date of this one. So I hate it when guys roll in and they act like they're all passionate about a subject and yet they have no video themselves on that subject. If you care about the subject and you want to help out the YouTube community, post your video. But these are tried and true medical supplies which I have found very useful, and so take it for what it's worth. It's me having used them, or if I haven't used an item, then I've been close enough to the scenario where I could see it would be helpful the next time I run into it. So that's a little bit of philosophy. We may mention more of that as we go along, as it plays with certain items within the kit. Also, it's unrealistic to expect that your first aid kit, this again is the level 1 kit that I put together, is going to stay the same forever. A first aid kit has several things in it which time to time will need to be upgraded, like medicine. You can see some Advil and Tylenol in there. Now, I'll talk about those expiration dates here in a second. But a first aid kit is a kind of a work in progress for me, Nutnfancy. If I find a better way to handle a medical emergency, then I will adopt it and put it within a kit. And one of those ways you'll see when we get in the interior of the level 2 is maybe the Steri-strips and also Tegaderm. It's a wound covering that I'll show you in my level 2. And guess what? Now it rides in my level 1 as well. If you watched the video of my level 1, it was not in this kit at the time I made that video. That's because since then I have gone to some first aid supply houses, I have researched it, I found that this is something I want to include, and now it's inside. Also, I didn't have a scalpel in there, and additionally, my hydrogen peroxide tube was not covered in black tape. Now it is, and that comes from actually one of my viewers who said, hey dude, just be advised that hydrogen peroxide, if it's exposed to light, loses its effectiveness. That was good input. I'm always learning from you guys. I'm learning from people I respect, and as such, first aid kit evolves, and so will the level 2. Now, I may or may not put a list of supplies of my level 1. I might go back on that description, and then the level 2. That's a lot of work for me to do that, and again, it's a snapshot in time. It doesn't mean it'll always be that way. As things change and things improve, I think the first aid kit will as well. Now, don't freak out though. Don't say, well, I don't want to go through all the work of putting a first aid kit together if, you know, it's going to be out of date or obsolete within a year. That's really not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that long term, your kit will serve fine, but don't feel like it will stay the same forever. There's always better ways to do things, and we should be open to those better ways. And finally, as we go through the kit, and this is kind of getting back to my previous point, please no hall monitors. And by hall monitors, I'm people who roll in and go, hey, you shouldn't be doing that, or hey, you need to do that, or I can't believe you're telling them that. You know, really, please no. Because, again, this is stuff I think that is very common sense. I will depart, however, from the common way of thinking of things. And for instance, let's talk about the expiration of medicines. You know, when we have a bottle of meds, it will have an expiration date on it. Okay, here's some loperamide here, and this is anti-diarrheal stuff, and it works great, by the way. Expires 11/10. Now, common way of thinking is like, hey, after November of 2010, you throw these out. Well, again, that is something I want to depart from because I think it's unrealistic. I like dealing in realities in the Nutnfancy project. Okay, here comes a reality. You ready? When you stock your first aid kit, and here you're looking at 4 of them, right? And 1, 2, 3, and you know how many level 1s I have? Probably about 6 of them. Okay, you know how many level 2s I've put together? Probably about 8 of them. These are just 3 of them. Okay, that is a lot of first aid kits, riding in a lot of different places, so I have that capability with me. To go and actually swap those medications out every year or every 2 years is, in my experience, and this is just my mileage, an impossibility. It just doesn't happen. Years will go by and you'll go, oh, gosh, I should have really updated those first aid kits. In a perfect world, yes, we would constantly take out outdated medications, outdated, Neosporin and any other commodity within our first aid kit and upgrade it. It won't happen. I will tell you that right now. But don't freak out, because in my experience, the effectiveness of this medication goes well beyond 1110. Okay? Again, I like dealing in realities, not PC or groupthink. So again, a hall monitor will go, oh, dude, that's expired. You should replace that. Well, let's talk to the cost of putting a first aid kit together. It is not cheap. I will tell you that right now. Buying these things like sutures, scalpels, the medicine, the different and various gauze pads, Steri-strips, all that cool stuff to include Tegaderm, very expensive. You're going to find out when you start doing it. Even if you go to a discount first aid house, again, look in annotation in the description of the place I recommend, you're still going to spend some money. You can imagine the money I've put out putting these level 2s together and my level 1s. As mentioned, I have more than a few. It costs a lot. That being said, it's worth it. Like I mentioned in my level 1 first aid kit review, this one, it has a lot more capability than even what's termed a field trauma kit by some of the ready-made manufacturers. Now, hanging on the shelves, again, these kits look pretty impressive. They're flashy. They look like they can handle pretty much anything, don't they? However, when you look at them closely and look at their ingredients, you'll find they're very narrow and shallow in their capabilities, and you've paid a fair price to even get that. So don't be suckered in by a ready-made first aid kit when you can build a superior first aid kit on your own. And that's what these review videos are about. They will show you what I have found to be proven in my many years of adventuring in the out of doors and all the adventures that you've seen. So yeah, it's expensive, but it's worth it. And let me tell you this also. When you break into your first aid kit and you use it to deal with a medical trauma, you have got to commit yourself to restocking that kit. Now, I kind of poo-pooed the idea of replacing your meds immediately upon their expiration. I'm going to stick with that. I think that's unnecessary. They can ride for probably a couple years after that. However, if we break in our kit and take some big old gauze pads out to handle a big cut, or if we use some of our Steri-strips, Tegaderm stuff, we need to replenish that. And that is something you need to commit yourself to. And I'm speaking from experience. I've done it where I haven't committed to it. And again, I had a first aid emergency. I broke in the kit and I was like, I never did replace those gauze pads, for instance. Not a good feeling. It's just not a good feeling. You've got to replace it. And also, I don't think it's unreasonable, and this is going to, again, break with conventional wisdom. I don't think it's unreasonable to ask for donations from the dude or dudette you just treated. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? But I'll tell you, after having done this for so many years of patching people up, their breaks, their cuts, their bleeds, and I don't mind doing it. I like helping people, but at the same time, it has cost me a lot of money to keep these stocked. So at the end, I just say, hey man, this costs a lot. If you want to, I don't ask, I just ask. I was like, hey, if you want to make a donation for me to restock my first aid kit, I would appreciate it. And if they don't, that's cool. But if they offer, right on, because you'll find out. I'm going to take a guess. This level 1 kit, I'm going to say just to make this level 1 kit was probably, now I bought everything in bulk and pulled it out, but I'm going to say at least $30 for the level 1 kit. That's just what I'm going to go. I didn't add it all up. A level 2 kit, I'm going to just hazard a guess, $100. At least $100. Maybe a little bit more. And that's buying in bulk, and that's buying the best deals you can. That's that. So keep that in mind. that's just some philosophical foundation as we break into it, and we're going to get there in just a second. First off, let's talk about the carry cases of the first aid kits. This is not something to be taken lightly. And a lot of guys I know are saying, come on, man, just break into the kit. No, everything goes together as a system, dudes. You should know that in the Nutnfancy project. I'm not just about putting something together that plays well on camera. I don't give a crap about that. I'm about keeping it real, showing stuff that works. And to understand a first aid kit, first we got to talk foundational stuff. And then the kit itself. What do you carry it in? The case that I have found to work very well for a level 2 kit. Again, this is not a level 3 or paramedic kit. Well, you're seeing 3 varieties of it now. And let me unclip from the tripod. It's going to work better that way. First off is this Army-style medical kit. And this was made for a medical kit. And there's other varieties. Here's one in olive drab I bought from Brigade Quartermaster. And it is a very inexpensive and lightweight carry case for your medical supplies. I like it. It has some advantages in that it is multi-compartmented. So it has 3 zippered compartments. 1 big zippered compartment, which folds over, as you can see in this black version, and snaps together like so. And there you have 3 major compartments for your first aid supplies. It's a good kit. I like it, lightweight. However, it does have some disadvantages. When you break it out, you're not looking at your supplies. Okay, you don't see an inventory. You have to dig through it to find what you want. Okay, but keep that in mind. Affordable option, and it is lightweight and relatively tough. And again, there's the OD version. There's the black version. Now this one over here, again, being extracted from our survival kit. And by the way, you might think that stands for level 2. Nope. This is actually Mrs. Nutnfancy's kit. We are numbered in our family 1, 2, 3, 4, and that way we can know whose kit this is. This is Mrs. Nutnfancy's kit taken from her bug out kit, and the reason that's important is, again, to know which kit you're using. Because if I get into kit number 2 and take supplies out of it, then I can go, you know what, I've got no more gauze pads in number 2 kit. I'm going to have to use either 1, 3, or 4 to handle this specific emergency. So that's an organized way to do it. I do tag these ones in my bug out kits. I don't do it for my other kits, which are pretty much standalone. This helps us find it within the kit. I may discuss more about that later. This is not actually a first aid kit at all. What this is a shower caddy built by Columbia. And it does indeed make an excellent first aid kit holder. I'm running this with one hand. Let's see if I can zip it. I put a zipper pull on pretty much all those zippers. And there you have it. There's the inside of this level 2 kit in the survival kit. And that works out pretty nice. And we have more of a viewing capabilities of our supplies as we zip it open. Again, this is a shower caddy designed for toiletries. And I bought it from campmore.com. That's one of my outdoor stores that I currently list on my channel page. You can click on that and check it out, and it was very inexpensive. I think the carry case itself was like $8, if that, on sale. And it came in different colors. So that is a great carry case. However, maybe not the biggest or, being able to carry everything. My favorite level 2 carry case, and I'm getting to it right now, is this one. This is the Black Hawk medical roll. I'm going to have to clip to the mothership again and break out the calendar. Let me join these clips real quick. Actually, it's called the Black Hawk Emergency Medical Supply Roll, and that's what you really need to know is their stock number, 20EMR1BK, 45 list. I think I got mine for around 32. This is an excellent carry case for your level 2 medical kit. When you roll it out, as you will see, you'll be able to see all of your supplies contained therein. Pretty gnarly, huh? And it's very compact for what it can carry. It's very tough and rugged. And that might be a hit on those other carry cases I showed you, is that, as the years go by and using them in a really abusive fashion, I don't know if they would hold up. And this POU for this kit inside a survival kit, it works fine. However, as a standalone, been thrown over the years into packs and duffels and into cars and vehicles and who knows what. I mean, this might not be the toughest first aid kit. I can tell you this one is. I've used this for, this is about 12 years old in our family, actually further than that, probably about 15 years old. I've been using this Black Hawk medic supply roll, and you can see it's no worse for wear, and it just wears like iron. It's built strong, tough, lightweight, compact. Now again, this is a level 2 kit we're talking about. We're still constrained by certain weight and size requirements, and actually, truth be told, expertise requirements. You know, I'm not a paramedic. You know, if I was a paramedic and I knew that that was going to be my dedicated role, then I would probably go with something like this, the Black Hawk medical backpack. And it has about 1,900 cubic inches in it. Okay, lots of space, dedicated suspension system. Heck, it's a backpack. And it's made for a paramedic. And he's going to have a level 3 kit in there. You know, there's a stethoscope. To me, that is not a level 2 item. That's a level 3 item. You know, a variety of airways will be included in there. Things that a medic would have. There's another option. The Stomp 2 medical coverage bag. Great kit, but see, that's more of a level 3 kit. It's big. You know, there's 2,600 cubic inches, and it's expensive. Look at that. 335 list. You know, big, heavy. Again, that's a level 3 capability kit. And the reason I'm going over this is because I want guys to understand the differences. I mean, they might say, well, why don't you get a bigger kit? Well, it goes outside the philosophy of use and the intent. That is not the intent. The intent is to have something portable with you most of the time if your system can take the weight. And that's what a level 2 kit does. And it's kind of an intermediate first aid kit capability. Dudes, I'm out of time. That's part 1, Nutnfancy with the level 2 kit review. We're going to break it open, trust me, and go over all the internals of my level 2 kit. Next section, come on back.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on. I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on. It's the weekend, and I know that you're free. So pull on your jeans and come on out with me. I need to have you near me. I need to feel you close to me.